Hey, it's that time again. Time for another episode of Shelve It or Shove It, the completely superficial way to pick books for your TBR based solely on their covers. I am your host, Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. In this game, I will only be looking at the covers of new releases for the month of May and picking one to add to my TBR based solely on the covers, and I'll be looking in the categories of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Starting with science fiction. And first up is The Memory Collectors by Deet Meserve, author of Good Stranger. So we're pretty much going just by the title to figure out what this is about. Maybe we're rewriting memories, perhaps. And I keep thinking of Mandela effect because these circles kind of look like a mandala. And one looks like a very rusty vision of a pier, I believe. And then the other one is a very colorful and vibrant version of the same image. So we're rewriting memories, I think. I'm not really drawn to this cover. And again, we're just going pretty much by the title to try to figure out what it could be about. And I'm not that into it. So for that reason, I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang, author of Natural Beauty. I have not heard of this author. And just going by the title and image, I'm going to think it's going to be about AI. Immaculate Conception giving birth to this weird, looks like face or portrait of a woman that is just all over this place. And I don't think I'm interested in this one either. I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Awake in the Floating City by Susanna Kwan. And what a boring cover. It's pretty. I guess it's a pretty painting. And is that Stonehenge? Or no, I guess that's the floating city, those little black squares. Do not like this cover at all. I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I'm not sure what this could be about. Are those DNA strands? No. Maybe Silver Elite is like Pierce Brown's Red Rising, part of a hierarchy. I mean, I'm just really pulling at threads here. I don't know what this could be about at all, so I'm going to have to shove it. And finally, in science fiction, 8,000 Natural Shocks by Omar Hussein. And there's this hand that's looking a little out of phase or out of focus or sort of glitching, and I'm going to have to zoom in on what is this in the center of his hand. And it looks like a button or a pill with a brain on it. 1,000 Natural Shocks. Again, just because it's a popular subject right now, I'm going to think AI. Not sure. Not loving this cover. I think it's kind of cute too. You have to zoom in to look at that little brain, but other than that, not a big fan. I'm going to have to shove it. Now we move on to fantasy, and first up is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. New York Times bestselling author. Love this author quite a lot. It looks like horror, so that's kind of what I'm getting. If I picked this book, it would just be based on the author, because the cover isn't doing that for me. I mean, it kind of looks like dingy and old and beat up. Reminds me of Clive Barker's Mr. E. Mr. E? Hold on. I have a copy right here. Hold on. Okay, I am back, and this is Mr. Be Gone. Mr. Be Gone by Clive Barker. And you can see that it's kind of looks scuffed up, but that it's not. It's not an old book. It's not scuffed up. It's just printed to look that way. I actually like the Clive Barker cover more than Joe Abercrombie's cover. I'm not a big fan of that skull with the two candles on it that looks like little horns. I don't know. I mean, just looking at the cover, I think I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. And the little blurb or byline is, what if you could have one last meal with someone you lost? Aftertaste. I actually like that blurb with the title because obviously they're bringing back someone from the dead. The cover itself is kind of boring, which is a shame because everything else seems to work. I mean, I don't hate this, but I don't think I would pick a book based on this cover. I think I'm going to have to shove it. Next up, The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. And it looks like a stylized astronomy or astrology starscape with a bird in the center. I'm assuming Phoenix because it says incandescent. Kind of bored with this one. I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Harmattan Season by Tochi Onyebuchi. And this is an author I've been wanting to read, and I just haven't picked anything up yet. What is Harmattan? Harmattan. Am I supposed to know what that means? Looks like Manhattan, Harmattan. I don't know. There's a recommendation by R.F. Kuang, who I like. And I kind of like this cover. I kind of like this woman floating and this other guy looking at her among these clouds. I'm getting superhero. This feels like a superhero story. But of course, no idea. But I want to read this author. I'm assuming it's superhero or, a contemporary story of people getting powers. I think I am going to go ahead and shelve it. Next up, A Curse Carved in Bone by Daniel L. Jensen. Scar of, does that say Scar? Sage of the Unfaded, Book 2. Okay, I'm not going to pick up a Book 2. I do like this artwork quite a lot. Very talented artist. A little bit generic, but doesn't matter because this is Book 2. And for that reason, I'm going to shove it. Now we move on to horror. First up is Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang. Doesn't look like a horror novel. Certainly not supernatural. Looks more like a mystery. But I like the cover because it's obviously about an Asian woman, Julie Chan, and she's in a sea of these blonde white people, white women, and she's trying to hide amongst them by putting up these little eyes. So I'm kind of getting an idea of what this book could be about. This woman, Julie Chan, is not dead, but she's sort of hiding out. That's what I am getting from this. Is this supernatural? I don't know. Unless it's about clones, I don't know. But like I said, the cover is telling a story and I am intrigued. So even though I think it's a mystery, and I'm pulling this from the horror section because they listed it in horror, so there must be some type of horror element, I'm going to go ahead and shelve it. Next up is A Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. And The author's name is familiar. I haven't read anything by him, I don't believe. I love this cover. I love this staircase, this winding staircase going up in this woods. What can I say? I like this type of cover. It's giving me vibes of The Wayward Children from Shannon Maguire. I don't know why. Could be a portal horror. I would love that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shelve it. Next up is Boys with Sharp Teeth by Jenny Howell. They're wicked, she's worse. So, vampire story about two guys who meet a girl vampire who's much worse than them, I think. I'm getting paranormal romance, and I'm a huge fan of Anne Rice. I loved Vampire Lestat, Queen of the Damned, even Interview with the Vampire, which did have strong romance subplots, but they were subplots, and this looks like maybe a major plot of a throuple. So, I don't know. I'm getting too much romance from this one, even though I kind of like the title, Boys with Sharp Teeth. Very cool title, but not for me. I think I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. No one will be spared. And I'm assuming, since this is in horror, it's a werewolf book. And just going by the cover, it doesn't look necessarily like a werewolf. It's not like one of those huge humanoid werewolves that we're used to in some of the werewolf movies, but maybe it is. Maybe it's a person that transforms into a normal wolf, which isn't as exciting for me. I can't remember reading a werewolf book. I'm not even sure where the original werewolf movie by Lon Chaney was based off of. I know Stephen King had the story Silver Bullet, which I saw the movie about a little boy in a wheelchair taking on a werewolf, which was a great movie. I don't think I read that novel. And I don't remember seeing it as a novel, so it could be a short story or novella. Anyway, that said, I went on way too long about freaking werewolves. I'm not crazy about this cover. So it just looks like a normal wolf. I'm going to have to shove it. And finally in horror, and our final book, Their Monstrous Hearts by Yijit Turhan. And even though it says hearts, there's these two hands holding, it looks like a butterfly, and I think there is a caterpillar sort of squirming in there. A gothic, darkly alluring tale that will leave readers spellbound, says Dua Lipa, who I have not. Oh, is a Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter. What? A singer likes it. I'm intrigued. I kind of want to read the blurb, but this is not what the game is about. Because this is the thing. If this is a new type of horror monster based on butterflies, I'd be intrigued. But this could just be a run-of-the-mill vampire story. Too many questions. I have too many questions. I'm going to have to shove it. Okay, I picked no science fiction. I didn't like any of those covers. I thought they were awful. I did pick one fantasy, The Mountain Season by Tochi Onyebuchi, and I picked two horrors. Julie Chan is Dead by Leanne Zhang, and The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. Now, I'm going to say no to Her Mountain Season because that cover just isn't drawing me in as much as the other two covers. The Julie Chan is Dead cover it's really telling me a story. I think I can kind of get a sense of what it's about, why it's horror. I don't know. Staircase in the Woods. I love this staircase, the spiral-bound staircase in the woods. I'm thinking portal horror, fantasy, contemporary. And I've heard the name Chuck Wendig before. I think I'm going to go with The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. Let's go ahead and read the blurb and see what I've gotten myself into. A group of friends investigates the mystery of a strange staircase in the woods in this mesmerizing horror novel from the New York Times best-selling author of The Book of Accidents. 5 high school friends are bonded by an oath to protect one another no matter what. Then, on a camping trip in the middle of the forest, they find something, a mysterious staircase to nowhere. One friend walks up and never comes back down. Then the staircase disappears. 20 years later, the staircase has reappeared. Now the group returns to find the lost boy and what lies beyond the staircase in the woods. Okay, as expected, I think this is a horror portal fantasy. I love this 20-year jump so we can find out what these kids do as adults. And the boy returning, I'm assuming, since it says lost boy, that he hasn't aged. So that should be interesting. I am very much into this. I like the blurb. I like the cover. I'm hoping I'll like the story, but you can never tell when picking books just by the covers. But I want to know what books you would have picked based solely on their covers. Let me know down in the comments. And while you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.